You want more, of course you do, but ask yourself, more of what exactly and for whom? Because the ambition you cannot explain is not vision, it is hunger wearing a mask. Welcome to the Stoic Compass. I am Epictetus, and today I am joined by Jung and LAOZI. Today we are examining, what is the difference between ambition that serves you and ambition that destroys you? Let us start with something basic. Ambition is not the problem. The problem is ambition without a master. When a soldier fights without knowing what he is defending, he is not brave. He is dangerous. Your ambition works the same way. If it is not directed by something you actually value, it will direct you, and it will not ask your permission first.
I would not frame it so quickly as a question of direction. The deeper issue is the question of origin. Where does the ambition come from? Because if you trace it back honestly, and most people do not, you often find it did not start with you. It started with something you needed to prove, or someone you needed to silence, or a wound you have been trying to close for 30 years by achieving your way past it.
You are both assuming ambition is something that needs to be aimed or diagnosed. What if the first problem is simpler? Most people cannot tell the difference between what they want and what they have been told to want. They are running very hard in a direction they never chose.
That is a fine observation, but it does not tell anyone what to do with it. A man standing at a crossroads does not need a philosopher to tell him the road is confusing. He needs to know which way to walk. The question of where ambition comes from is secondary. The question of whether you are its servant or its master, that is where the work begins.
But Epictetus, you keep skipping the step that makes mastery possible. You cannot master what you cannot see. If the ambition is driven by an unacknowledged wound, a need for approval, a terror of being ordinary, a compensation for a father who never looked up from his own work, then all your discipline and direction will simply be faster movement toward the wrong thing. You will be very competent at missing the point.
And even that framing assumes the goal is to understand the ambition and then correct it. But maybe the more honest question is this: what would you do if no one was watching, no one was counting, and nothing was being measured? Most people go silent when they hear that question. That silence is information.
The silence is not wisdom. The silence is avoidance. You ask what they would do if no one was watching, and they stare at the floor. But I say the question is not what they would do in some imagined private world. The question is what they are doing right now in the actual world with the actual time they have. Do not let a romantic thought about simplicity become an excuse for deciding nothing.
Epictetus, you speak of ambition that serves you versus ambition that destroys you, and you locate the distinction in will and clarity. But I want to be more precise. The ambition that destroys is almost always the ambition that has been inflated by the ego. The ego takes a legitimate desire to contribute, to build, to be recognized, and inflates it into something total. It becomes the only way to feel real. When that happens, the person stops being able to distinguish between their identity and their achievement. Lose the achievement, lose the self. That is not drive, that is a trap.
And the trap is invisible to the person inside it. That is the part worth saying plainly. When someone is in that state, when the ambition has taken over, they do not feel trapped. They feel urgent. They feel like they are finally alive. The trap feels like clarity.
Yes, and what breaks the trap is not psychology. What breaks the trap is a single honest question you ask yourself, and do not let yourself answer too quickly. The question is, if I never achieved this thing, would I still be able to say I lived rightly? Not happily, not successfully, rightly, according to my own values, not my own appetites. That question has real teeth. Most people flinch from it.
That is a useful question, but it is still a question the ego can hijack. The ego will answer yes, of course I have values, and then continue unchanged. I have seen this repeatedly. The person believes they are asking the hard question honestly, and they are, but only in the parts of themselves they can access. The shadow does not submit to self-examination by request. It requires something more uncomfortable. It requires you to look at what you do when no one is enforcing your self-image. What you reach for at 2 a.m, what you feel when someone else gets what you wanted.
That, what you feel when someone else gets what you wanted, that is where it becomes clear. There is a kind of ambition that can watch another person succeed and feel something close to satisfaction, even if you did not get there yourself, because the drive was never really about the outcome. It was about the work, the direction, the aliveness of moving towards something real. And there is a kind of ambition that watches another person succeed and feels like a personal attack. The second kind is not ambition, it is armor.
I agree with the observation and disagree with what you leave out of it. You can identify that second kind of ambition, the armor as you call it, and still be completely unable to stop it if you have no practice of self-examination. Recognition is not enough. I can recognize that I am angry. The anger does not care. What matters is whether I have trained myself to pause before I act from it. Ambition is the same. You must build a habit of asking before you pursue something, whether the pursuit serves the person you are trying to become or whether it serves the person you are afraid of being.
The person you are afraid of being, that phrase is worth sitting with. Because very often, the ambition that destroys is not running towards something. It is running away from something. Away from the version of the self that feels inadequate, overlooked, small. The achievement becomes the proof of non-smallness, and proof of that kind must be renewed constantly because it never actually resolves the underlying fear. You win, you feel it for a moment. Then the fear comes back, slightly louder, and the next goal has to be larger.
I have heard people describe that feeling as hunger. They achieve the thing, and instead of feeling full, they feel the hunger more clearly. What they are usually missing is something much simpler, not the next goal, but the experience of being present in the current one. The ambition that serves you keeps you inside your life. The ambition that destroys you keeps pulling you out of it.
Say more precisely what you mean by inside your life, because a person can be extremely present inside a delusion.
What I mean is this. When you are inside your life, the work itself has value, not just the outcome. You can be interrupted and return without losing yourself. You know why you are doing it, and the answer is not because I have to, and not because I will finally feel like enough when I finish. The answer is something more grounded than that. The work is connected to something you actually care about when you are at rest, not just when you are afraid.
And that connection between the ambition and something genuinely your own, rather than something borrowed from a parent, a culture, or a fear, that is what I would call the difference between ambition that is rooted and ambition that is reactive. Rooted ambition can survive failure. It can survive a detour. It can survive someone else succeeding at the same thing because the source of it is not comparative. Reactive ambition collapses or escalates under the same conditions because it was never really about the thing itself.
Then we are saying the same thing from different directions. The ambition that serves you is connected to your actual values. The ambition that destroys you is connected to your fear. And the only way to know which one you are running on is to ask the question honestly and let the answer be uncomfortable.
I would add, ask the question more than once, and watch what you do at the edges, when you fail, when you are tired, when someone overtakes you. That is when the real driver shows itself. Anyone can maintain the story of healthy ambition when things are going well.
And watch what you feel when you stop, just for a day, just for an hour. If stopping feels like relief, you were probably carrying something you chose. If stopping feels like falling, you were probably being carried by something that chose you.
That is the distinction that matters. You should be able to set the thing down and pick it back up. If you cannot set it down, you are not holding it. It is holding you. You have heard 3 men argue about what ambition is. That is not the thing you need. What you need is one honest look at the ambition you are already living, and the one question you have been avoiding about it.
Most people think the question is whether their ambition is too big or too small. That is the wrong question. The real question is whether your ambition belongs to you, or whether it belongs to something older and more frightened inside you. Ambition that serves you has a particular quality. You can question it without it threatening you. You can watch someone else succeed at the same thing and feel something like genuine interest rather than something close to panic. When you fail, the goal changes, but you do not disappear. The ambition is a direction you are choosing, not a verdict you are avoiding. Ambition that destroys you works differently. It cannot be questioned without triggering a defense. It needs to be fed constantly because every achievement only quiets the hunger briefly before it returns. It is not really about the thing you are building. It is about silencing something you have never fully faced. Often, that something is a very old belief, that you are not enough, that you have to earn your place, that if you stop proving yourself, you will be found out. The work is not to kill the ambition. It is to look honestly at what is driving it. Today, try this. Think of the one goal you are pushing hardest toward right now. Then ask yourself one question and do not answer too quickly. If you achieved it completely and nothing in your life changed except the achievement itself, would you feel like enough? Sit with that. The answer you most want to avoid is the answer most worth finding.
The ambition that will cost you everything rarely announces itself as a problem. It announces itself as purpose, as urgency, as proof that you are finally taking your life seriously. That is the part to watch, not whether you want things. Wanting things is not the enemy. but whether the wanting is something you are doing or something that is being done to you. You now have a question in your hands that can tell you which one it is. Use it before the next decision, not after. If today's conversation has served you, take it further. Pay Attention by C. Tribune, 12 Lessons in the Practice of Seeing Clearly. Available now on Amazon.